That looked like a tricky pitch. It's kind of misbehaved all day, didn't it? Although we couldn't quite tell watching side on. But what was it doing?
Not an awful lot, to be honest. I think both teams probably batted poorly. I think you saw the partnership at the end. They're putting on 100 in fairly short time. That showed you what people were capable of if they actually applied themselves. I heard Rashid talking about taking responsibility, and I think the two guys at the end for Afghanistan showed exactly what responsibility was on a pitch which really there were no demons in. I think credit must go to both teams. I think they both bowled exceptionally well. Afghanistan up front, they made it really difficult, and clearly there's a lot of mystery in the bowling attack. We haven't played against them that regularly to be able to pick the variations and stuff like that, but all the bowlers held at length really well and made it very difficult. And I thought we did exactly the same up front and made it difficult for them. So, the game ebbed and it flowed, and they had momentum to start with, and we stole it back. And then at the end, credit to the two guys who saw Afghanistan home.
You did have a couple of good contributions with the bat, though, Shaiman Anwar and Naveed there at the end. So, I guess that also shows that kind of sticking around a bit, you could score runs here.
For sure. Let's not underestimate how potent a bowling attack Afghanistan have. We knew it was going to be difficult up front. The teams that we've spoken to who have played them recently have said it's difficult up front, and the more you play against that type of bowling, the more likelihood you've got of picking it out of the hand as opposed to out the surface. And that was key. I think Shaiman started to pick it towards the end, and Naveed just played strong shots, and it came off. Credit to both of them, particularly Shaiman. I thought he played really, really well. But they're a very good team. They're a very good bowling attack, and on the course of today, I think they thoroughly deserve to win.
You're obviously not in the running for a place in the final, but you still have a game to play. And I think you showed today that you could possibly bloody the noses of a couple of the bigger teams. Is that the plan for Zimbabwe?
Absolutely, that was the plan today, and at 54 for 5, it looked like we were going to do that. We just needed somebody to step forward and be maybe a little bit braver than what we were, and we didn't. We sort of we tried to sit tight, and that didn't work. But look, the last game against Zimbabwe, we know it's going to be a tremendous atmosphere. It's a huge game. There's a lot riding on it. World Cup qualification for them and for other teams as well, so that we know that despite not being able to qualify for the World Cup, we can have a major say in who does qualify. And I think if we stick to our plans like we did for a long part of the day, and do the bits well that we did well again on Thursday, then there's no reason to assume that we can't get across the line. We haven't managed to do that in the Super 6 stage yet, but we strongly believe as a team that we're working on the right things. And on a day when we piece together 100 overs of really solid cricket, we know that we can put in a strong performance against anyone. That's the plan. There'll be 15,000 people in there or so. They'll all be shouting for Zimbabwe, but we know around the world there'll be millions of people who are shouting for us. So we take that positivity with us, and we really look forward to what's going to be a fantastic day of cricket.
Where do you feel you're at as a team, and how would you describe your time in Zimbabwe? The group stages and the Super 6 as a whole.
Yeah, it's been great. We've learnt a lot. We don't always get a chance to play against full member teams. I think we are a team who are learning. You can't confuse players' ages with experience. They're not that experienced at this level, so they're learning all the time. A lot of the teams who are here, Ireland particularly, they've played a hell of a lot of cricket. They've got a lot of experience, and that probably represents itself in the cricket. We don't quite have that, so we're learning on the hoof, so to speak. But we think we've come away a better team. We've been a bit inconsistent with the performance. One day we bowl really well, the next day we don't. One day we bat really well, the next day we don't. And that's something that we've been trying to evolve over the course of the last 12 months. When we go back to Dubai, we've got a lot of work to do, and that has been proven in our performance. But we strongly believe that we are going in the right direction, and we're very clear as to what that direction is.
Just to take you back a little bit on today's game in particular, were you also surprised? You talk about trying to adapt to the conditions and trying to make use of him. The batting front, the two openers going out of the Afghanistan bowlers, was that part of the plan?
What, going after them? Or?
Going after the two?
Not really, no. our strategy is clear. It's not. It's for people to take responsibility. We have a team strategy, and we know what we're trying to do as a team. We're trying to set up a point in the game. Taking down the power play is not something we talk about, but clearly if a player feels that they need to take down the power play or can take it down, then we try and give them responsibility to go and do that. Today, we didn't get the power play quite right, but again, credit has to go to Afghanistan. They bowled really, really well. They held their length impeccably. They fielded exceptionally well, and they took all the chances. So when you've got the quality of bowling in their lineup as they have, it's always going to be a challenge. And if they bowl well, which they did, then it's going to be even more challenging. So look, I come away from today thinking we had an opportunity to turn a major team over. 54 for 5, we had the game there. We just needed somebody to step up and get 1 wicket. And if we could have done that as a team, it may have been a different outcome. But taking nothing away from Afghanistan, they played really well towards the back end of the game and thoroughly deserved to win. All right, no worries. Thank you.